Good day from Ron's Tabletop Hoops. This episode is dedicated to that typical unboxing type of video, authentic unboxing as Kurt Berglund would say, and this is the package right here. I can only tell you it's something of the basketball variety right now, but we're going to take a look into this package, and I've got two different weapons I can use to destroy this packaging on this priority box here. I'm thinking I might first try the scissors so I don't kill anything, and we're just going to go into this right now. Oh. Alrighty, it's coming. Slowly but surely. That may be enough to do it. May not have needed the Boy Scout knife, which I used in Cub Scouts back in the 70s. But here we go. Oh my. And there you have it. Basketball Legends. I've watched a couple of videos. Chris Dealey and Michael Wright. These are a couple guys from Texas. I could tell a little bit by their accent, but also by the fact they just talk about their other games they have. This is their third installment. They have a pair of football games. One's called Friday Night Legends. The other one is Saturday Legends. And of course, Friday Night Legends refers to the high school football scene in Texas. As many know, football is huge in Texas. Texas is huge to begin with. And of course, Saturday Legends, another game that they have, refers to the college football scene. But this is their basketball entry, I think that came around 2021. So this is known as Basketball Legends. The box, high school, college, and professional basketball board game. So we're going to crack into this game, and it is interesting that they cover every single level of basketball, well, the exception of grade school, I guess. And they will say if you have the stats for the team, you can make your own teams for this game as well. But anyway, it is considered a statistically accurate basketball board game from Legends Games, but Superstars of the Court. And so, but this is going to be an interesting look at a game that I'm typically a player of tabletop basketball games, as you know, that include individual player cards. This is going to focus a little bit more on strategy and overall team play, so it's going to be a little bit different. Let's break into this and see what the game parts look like. All right, I cut a couple slits here off camera so I would not jab myself, and that will enable me to open the top of the box. Let's take a look and see what we have here. Voila. All right, this game obviously has not a big pack of cards of individual players, but I think they have team sheets in here. So let's take a look at first. What we have is a baggie of a bunch of cubes, and those are strategy cubes from what I've seen on some tutorial videos. There's also a pair of dice in the game, 10-sided dice. There's more than that. There's four dice. Maybe if you're playing two players, I can't remember. I think it's just two dice roll though from 1 to 100. So you get that there. Let's see what else is in the box. A little happy note here. Let's see what it says. It says, "Thank you for your order. You're going to love this game. Please share your scores and stories on our Facebook page." Well, I've got my own Facebook page, so I might share them there. If you ordered extra team sheets, they will be mailed separately. So additional team sheets obviously are available for this game. You can have add-ons of some NBA, I think there's some ABA and possibly some WNBA as well, in addition to some college teams. Now, this game, before I even break into any more of this box, I wanted to show you the back. I think it tells you what is included. And it says made in the USA. Play historic matchups against the greatest basketball teams of all time. And it's an all college teams included in this. So at least you're all playing on the same level of play. It looks like you get 3, 6, 10 team sheets. That includes UCLA, led by Bill Walton in 73, that Baylor team that killed Gonzaga in 2021, Leitner at Duke, Tim Duncan at Wake Forest, Magic Johnson at Michigan State, Illinois, Georgetown of 84, Patrick Ewing and all those good players, 98, North Carolina. I don't know if that's Vince Carter. Definitely have a great back-to-back Florida championship team there, and Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon, Anderson Hunt, all those players on the 1990 UNLV Runnin' Rebels as well. So you can go to BoardGameLegends.com if you want to get more information about Basketball Legends, in addition to Friday Night Legends, in addition to Saturday Legends. So anyway, that's what the box looks like. It's a pretty good looking box. It's just a white box, and they put some large labeling on it. So it's Basketball Legends. Let's get inside one more time. I'm going to pull some of these sheets out and see what we have inside. Well, I like the look of this box, though. It's a nice, sturdy box. It's not too huge. It's probably similar to a Bank Shot basketball box in terms of size. I actually found my Bank Shot box. Let's see what we got. Bank Shot basketball is about 1 inch to 2 inches longer and a ½ inch taller, and they're just about a ½ inch thicker too. So Basketball Legends is just a little smaller than that. My other recent game purchase from 2023, it's nearly the same as a Replay box from the dimensions and from the height standpoint. So if you own Replay, the box is about that size. Moving right along, we have the rule book right at the top. It is stapled. And how many pages do we have to learn? Didn't look like there was too much to learn here, but it gives you the rule book, tells you have score pads, a possession chart, specials chart, play cubes, 50 black cubes, count as 1 point each, 15 yellow cubes. Cubes count as 5 points each. If you run out of cubes, use coins to represent missing cubes. 4 10-sided die, as mentioned earlier, team sheets, and that's where the money is. Having those team sheets, we will look at those in a little bit, and that's the strength of each individual team. You know, how they stop, people on defense, how good of offensive team they are, not individual, but as a team. So this appeals to a certain basketball board game player that wants to try something different, wants to try something where you're actually just using strategy. I think this is a really good 2-player game. You can exchange strategies using your cubes to gain advantages, to force missed shots, to not foul somebody, to do some things, and then you run out of cubes, and then you're just at the mercy of the other team. So I think that's generally how it goes. There's an action roll. Takes place on each possession. An action chart tells you who gets the ball, what happens on a possession chart, coaching points, adjustment points, and adjustment boxes. So each team sheet has adjustment boxes. We'll take a look at that. And of course we get score pads and all the like. There's a little detail on setting up the game right here. You must fill in some boxes on the score sheets, what to do as coach. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a tutorial on this game. Well, maybe not a great tutorial, but definitely a demonstration of this game in an upcoming video. I just want to take a quick gander at the rules at this time, and then I'll read up on them and hopefully be able to do a nice little demonstration of a couple NCAA teams in a future video. So, percentage of 2 points. It's all based on a lot of how the percentages they give up on defense, on rebounds, on all aspects of the college basketball game in this case. What coaching points can do. Adjusting roll results, and I know there's like a momentum meter as well. If you call a timeout, if you do a certain things, you can calm your team down, and a momentum meter can really kill a certain team if they allow it to get out of control. So a typical team sheet will have an action chart with shots, fouls, turnovers, defensive fouls, what you do on certain plays. And block shots, steals. So it's got all of the aspects. It's just from a team standpoint, not an individual standpoint. Obviously, basketball is a team sport, so this may work out and may flow just fine. I've heard talk about this game as more of a quick play game as well. It may not take as long as a bigger, longer game as a traditional game with has all the cards and all the player substitutions. And it says, can I get new teams? Yes, teams can be created. Some are a lot more difficult than others because stats on some teams are difficult to find. That's a true statement. How long does it take to play a game? Once you get familiar, it is surprisingly fast. Games can be completed in 60 to 90 minutes, which that's not bad at all for a basketball game. Basketball, as we've discussed in the past, is a long play game in most cases. There are quick play versions, regular season basketball. I can't name too many of them is the issue. So sometimes we're always looking for a quick play game. Is this game capable of tracking complete statistics? Yes, if you're willing to take the time to track each shot, rebound, etc., you will have complete statistics at the end of the game. So it looks like there are some ways to make that work. So anyway, this is the rule book. It does a little possession. Goes through some sample possessions. There's 4 possessions here. Let's just take a look at the first possession and we'll just see what happens here. Team A rolls 33, which looking at the action chart is a defensive foul. And since 33 is odd, it is a shooting foul. So that's one of the rules you got to remember and learn. So I got to remember an odd number as a shooting foul. Team B does not want to start the game that way, though, and chooses to spend a cube from their turnover steal box. Remember, you use offensive cubes when you have the ball and defensive cubes when your opponent does. This adjusts the roll to a 32, which is a steal, so that the chart will show little ranges, and maybe 32 is right on the edge of that range, and so you can use your steal cube, which you don't get too many of them in that little steal column, to steal the ball. The momentum swings 1 to Team B, and now is their first possession. Team B rolls 30, which is, wow, a steal by the A team. Team B could use 3 cubes to adjust the roll to 33 from their offensive from steal box, but the coach only has 2 cubes, and thus Team A has stolen the ball. So that just kind of shows you how the cubes work in a very quick nutshell. They kind of can make the difference between fouls and steals. They can make a difference between a made shot and a missed shot, and just all kinds of things. A block shot, a turnover can be changed just by the use of the cubes, which of course you have a limited number of, and the better the team, the more cubes your team will get. And so that's kind of how that works. So we'll take a look at those team sheets in a minute or two here, but this is a specials chart. I did not see a lot of this going on, but if there was a play on a special that favors the offense or favors the defense, it looks like that's what we got there. This is kind of on a little bit heavier stock. They want you to keep, there's a possessions chart for college men, college pro, women, pro men, and high school here. So there's some adjusted possessions for each half. I think you set that up prior to the game. You want to know how many possessions there will be per quarter or per half, depending on what level of play you are playing at. And before I go into the teams, it shows you, this is the score sheets, which are relatively simple. You don't have all the player names as you would in a typical tabletop basketball game, but you have the percentages. You set a lot of this stuff prior to the game. It shows your possessions here, and I think if you're playing college, say you might get 40 possessions per half or something like that. Who knows? But there's a possession set up, maybe with that possession chart, perhaps. It's those possessions each half, each quarter for college and pro women, pro men. And so you'll set up your number of possessions per period prior to the game, and you can set that up on that sheet. You can keep score right here on the sheet as opposed to needing a separate scoring mechanism. And you set in your preset your stuff there. You also have the momentum meter. It starts at 0, and every time something special happens for one side, it can impact how the play results are if you get up to a 2 or up to a 4+4 in possession as well. But I don't know that much about the game, so I'm just trying to go off of what I remember from seeing the videos with Chris and Michael Wright. Anyway, here we go. These are the sheets, the team sheets. California, Los Angeles, which is UCLA and over everybody else's book. They went 30-0. This is 73. The last year, Walton was at UCLA. Am I correct on that? No, he actually was there in 73, 74. This was his last championship year, 30-0. And percentage time, shoot 2, 100. Free throw shot, 63. They averaged 81 a game. They gave up just 60. They have an offensive rebound percentage of 40%. -5 on a defensive adjustment. 2-point percentage, 51%. Defensive adjustment, -5. So it looks like it's showing how well they prevent field goal shooting as well. These are their possessions. And you can see it kind of goes from, depending on what you roll with the two-sided, the 10-sided dice, the 2 dice, you can go 1 to 100 here. It looks like 1 to 2 and 99, 100 are special. And I bet you there's a way with the cubes on certain numbers, as we said before, a 6 can be moved, or a 2 can be moved to a 3, and a 7 can be moved to a 6, depending on what the defense wants to do. So anyway, when you pre-set up the game, there's 28 coaching points for UCLA, which is one of the highest I've ever seen. And so you put a whole bunch there. You also put some on some of the positive numbers down here. This is offense. This is defensive opportunities to take away from the other team on either possession. And they can do it to you. So for instance, you have UCLA here. And UCLA, when you set up the game, you just set a couple sheets. I'm not really presenting much of a footprint here because I've got all of my memorabilia and fun books and things all around here. I just decided to decorate the setup here with some classic kids books. Great teams of pro basketball. Pro basketball's big men. Those are fun reads. Great rookies of pro basketball. I don't know if anyone remembers these from the 50s and 60s and early 70s. I was too young for this, but I bought these as a kid. They have great photography and they're very easy to read. You could talk about all the great rookies, including the late and great Maurice Stokes, Tommy Heinsohn. Where's another super duper guy? There's Walter Bellamy, old big Walt. Terry Dissinger used to practice dentistry in the Portland area, Lake Oswego. Just cool stuff. Anyway, gonna put that aside. Let's say there's Michigan State, there's Georgetown. So there would be an amazing matchup to play right there. You play the, let's see if I can put these up a little higher so they're easier to read. So you'd fill out your score sheet, obviously, with UCLA here, visitor, home team, Georgetown. You set up all the little ratings, and there's adjustments, pregame adjustments made on each sheet. You follow that up probably with a jump ball and a possession. It just goes possession, possession, possession. And you keep track of the number of possessions based on what the team's offensive possession ratings are. Well, it says possessions -2. I mean, I'm not even sure if I'm looking at this right, but if it's as simple as what I think it might be, college men, it says -2. That's 34 possessions each half for UCLA, and then you probably do possessions 0, 35 possessions each half for Georgetown, perhaps, and then you might average that out or something of that nature. I'm not really sure, but either way. And then you get going with these dice, and obviously I can't leave these charts up like that. I got to have them on the ground because they're going to have 19 coaching points. I'm not going to do UCLA right at the moment, but you see you get all of these little plasticky cubes. Yeah, they're very lightweight. And so prior to even starting the game, you're just doing a little bit of setup here. I think you put for positive ratings, you put cubes in each one of these. These are takeaway opportunities. And there's 5. There's 10. And these are worth 5 each, so you go 15. 16, 17, and 19. And so you can take away things using the cube points. You can just avoid certain situations. Georgetown has 19. UCLA has 28. So it looks like in that respect, UCLA would have an advantage in many ways. So, but there's many aspects here I still have yet to learn about Basketball Legends. So either way, you're going to be using these dice here. And I noticed those guys were using the white die as the first die. I think I'd probably use the black die as the first die. That kind of resonates with me. So you roll something like that. And 10, what is that? Is that 18? I'm not even sure. This would be 68. I can say that for certain. And you look up a possession such as 68, and it would be a turnover for California, Los Angeles. And I'm not sure if there's a way to avoid that. I think it's all played off the defense. I don't really want to get too deep into it. But either way, you just go possession, possession, possession. You mark off when the possession's completed, and then play just flows from that way on. You're basically just rolling these two dice the entire game. So there's no fast action cards. There's no individual player cards, but it looks like a pretty streamlined game. I want to go through these other teams really quickly just to see if there's anything special here. UNLV 1990, that was a fantastic team. They were 35-5. 25 coaching points, which means that's right up there. When you know that Georgetown's got 19, UNLV's got 25, that shows that UNLV and UCLA, the teams with the abbreviated names, they were definitely some of the powerhouses of the decade here, or the 20 to 30 years of teams. We got about 50 different years, actually. 92 Duke. We all know how great Christian Laettner was. There's 25 coaching points there. Wake Forest, 21 coaching points there. So it just goes on and on. It's just an interesting set of teams. We can go with Illinois. It's got 24. Florida 24. 23 for Michigan State and Magic Johnson. And, of course, 25 for Baylor, who won it just a couple of years ago in a resounding championship victory over Gonzaga. So, but anyway, that is Basketball Legends from Legends Games, the third release by Legends Games after their 2 football games I've just mentioned. Anyway, I'm going to give you an early bird special here. They gave me a discount on the game so I can give a little trial unboxing and review of it. If you're interested in this game prior to my review, there is a code you can put into the field at Basketball Legends. If you put in my last name, HESS, probably in all caps, I'm not 100% certain, you can receive $5 off Basketball Legends. So I just want to let you know, if you're going to jump the gun and you want to see the game right away because you like a game that actually is just more of a strategy game and doesn't have to mess with a whole bunch of cards, I think other than just setting up these game cubes and quickly noting some things on the tabulation score sheet here, you're ready to go really fast. I think the game prep is pretty quick. Your footprint for the game, it's going to probably be a little bit like this. You're going to have 2 teams side by side. You really just have not a possessions chart. You got this little specials and possessions chart. Possessions just start your game off, and a score sheet. So it really won't take too much. It's probably one square setup here. You probably don't use this chart all that often, but either way, an interesting first look at Basketball Legends, Superstars of the Court, statistically accurate basketball board game from Legends Games. Anyway, this has been a quick look and a quick unboxing from Rod's Tabletop Hoops. Everyone, have a good evening. We'll talk to you soon.